This is not an argument about Muslims in Greece. Muslims have lived in Greece for hundreds of years. They are an established part of the community. They are Greek citizens. They play a substantial and valued role. No one has a problem with them. They don't have a problem with Greece. I would suggest there are two problems with the Athens Mosque. The first is that it is a mosque that is being built principally, I take the point it's not entirely, but principally for illegal immigrants. And the second is that it is an official government mosque. Let me deal with the position of illegal immigrants first. This is a toxic phrase, isn't it? Illegal immigrants. How awful is that? This is not, however, an issue of prejudice. This is an issue of citizenship. And this is the real problem about immigrants and the whole Islamic question. Because if you have immigrants coming in large numbers, they are likely in large numbers to be a body of people who, because they are immigrants and because they are illegal immigrants, they are choosing not to share the obligations and duties of citizenship. They don't have an attachment to the country as indigenous Greek Muslims do. And so these people who are coming in are much more likely to have to be vulnerable to the more problematic interpretation of Islam. They will bring, or they could bring, problems that exist at the moment from the margins to the center stage in Greece, where militancy becomes a problem that hasn't previously existed, because immigration and citizenship are the crucial questions. The problem is with Islam, which, as we know, has not yet had the equivalent of the Christian Reformation, which separated, crucially, religion from state and set in train the means for providing a liberal society. In Islam, the politics and religion are considered to be synonymous. And today, the Islamic world is dominated by religious authorities who enforce the purity of that doctrine. A project is underway to drive out secularism from wherever it has made advances in the Islamic world and subject the rest of the world to rule by Sharia. And there is evidence that the Muslim Brotherhood is well advanced in this goal in Europe. And that is why today's immigrant Muslims tend to want to immigrate not in order to fit into the host country, but to make the host country fit in with them. The Islamists, as I would call them, the people who believe in politicized Islam, say in effect to the rest of us, if you say Islam is not a religion of peace, I'll kill you. Or else they will expect special treatment, claiming that they want equal rights, they want special treatment. For example, if they are illegal immigrants, they expect to be treated with the same rights as citizens of a country. And if they're not given those rights, they will accuse you of being an Islamophobe. I have to tell you, coming from Britain, the examples are not reassuring, because the mosque can be a radicalizing force. The mosque has often been the source of radicalization, especially of young Muslims. And that is because so many of these mosques that are radical mosques are very big mosques. They make a statement. They make a political statement. Their size, their prominence, the position they hold is itself a symbol of great importance, which itself has a radicalizing effect on Muslims and an intimidating effect on the host community. That actually takes a situation in which you have mainly illegal immigrants, and the government is saying, we are going to give these people special treatment, therefore we are treating Islam differently. Why? Because it follows automatically, axiomatically, we're treating it differently because it's actually much more important than any other kind of doctrine. The idea that the government is controlling this that should be a kind of source of reassurance, I don't find reassuring. I think it's actually a problem because it wishes to curry favor with the Islamic world. In conclusion, I would say this, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in equal rights for Muslims, certainly, but equal rights for Muslims as equal citizens, which means that they must accept the deal of liberal society, that they must behave equally like every other minority, not equal to or superior to the host community. The bad signal of this mosque is government approval of illegality and government approval of a kind of special treatment for Islam. When Greek Muslims and the Greek government accept that Greek Muslims must show equality of responsibility as citizens, then and only then will there be no problem from the Athens Mosque. Thank you very much.
There is a trend over Europe now with people coming to tell you that Islam per se is a problem. So whatever you are going to say, Islam per se is potentially violent and the Muslims are potentially dangerous. And at the same time, what you have coming from someone who created an organization called Social Cohesion, and I told you I don't get it, how you can speak about social cohesion, is really to get a sense of this confusion. We are talking now about immigration, illegal immigrants, violence, terrorism, and all this connected to the mosque, the Muslim presence. And it's as if you have to change your speech. In the Arab majority country, in the Arab world now, and the Muslim majority countries, they are telling you that they want democracy, that they want rights, that they want dignity and freedom. You don't get it. You are spreading fear. You are here to spread fear. Be careful, because what you are spreading around is this idea that Muslims are transforming Europe in Arabia. Islam is colonizing. Only good thing could come from a mosque, yes, for many reasons. First, we have to get rid of this discussion, confusing immigration, and come to what we are talking about. The Greek society has changed, and now you have Muslims living here. Willing it or not, this is the reality, not of multiculturalism. I don't care about this. The only word that I know is pluralism. We are with many religions, many cultures, and we are going to live together. This is the future. Look at this room. This is Greece. Greece is colored, many faiths, many religions, many spiritualities. So what is the answer now? What could be the right answer? It's just to face the reality and to come with policy which are realistic, demanding, and at the same time open. Europe needs immigrants. There is no survival, economically speaking, for Europe without immigrants. There is no discussion about this. This is the future. They abide by the law. The mosque will give the right and just show that now Greece and the Greek government and the Greek citizens are acknowledging the fact that they have atheists, agnostic, Orthodox, Christians, Jews, and Muslims. That's the reality. They don't only on the margins. Look at the terrorists. Look at the headlines. You know that there is something here which is when you cut a tree, it makes more noise than a forest that is growing. And the slow movement of the Muslims is to settle down and to be citizens in the country. The comprehensive approach here is this institutionalization of Islam with the presence of Greek Muslims doing that. The mosque could be built in a Greek taste. It's done in so many countries that we come and we adapt ourselves to the culture and we keep the principle. It's all good what is coming from building a mosque because it's a learning process. We dialogue, we discuss, we understand the viewpoint of the other, and we come to a better understanding here. What we know we need now is for our politicians not only to be driven by emotional politics. Why? Because this is the populists are spreading fears, and if we listen to the people now, they are scared of Islam because of what they see on TV. What we need now is courageous politicians and courageous citizens coming and abiding by the same principles and to say what we want is equality, is justice and pluralism. For this we have to be committed. It's not going to be alone. It's not easy to live in a pluralistic society. It's easy to reject. It's difficult to be open. We need to learn, and it's an ongoing process. Let this mosque be the process of a mutual learning process and not rejection.
Κύριε Φλούδα, έχετε το λόγο.
Χαριτωμένα μας τα λέει ο κύριος καθηγητής όσον αφορά τον πλουραλισμό στην Ελλάδα. Ακούσαμε και το πολύ ενδιαφέρον ότι η Ελλάδα είναι έγχρωμη. Ας κάνουμε και μία μικρή αναδρομή σε θέματα ιστορικά και γεωπολιτικά και θα καταλάβουμε τι ακριβώς μπορεί να συμβαίνει. Τέτοιου είδους ομοιογένεια αυτοπροσδιορισμού δεν υπήρχε στα περισσότερα κράτη της Ευρώπης, στα περισσότερα κράτη του κόσμου. Άρα είναι λογικό ότι η αποδοχή του ξένου και του αλλόθρησκου θα είναι πάρα πολύ μειωμένη εδώ πέρα. Έρχεται ο κύριος καθηγητής και μας μιλάει για έγχρωμη Ελλάδα και για πλουραλισμό. Κάνω λάθος ότι αυτό το οποίο κάνουμε σήμερα είναι μία από τις ελάχιστες συζητήσεις που έχουν τολμήσει να γίνουν δημοσίως επί του θέματος τα τελευταία 15 χρόνια. Έχουμε μουσουλμάνους στην Ελλάδα. Είναι εδώ το σπίτι τους, εδώ και αιώνες. Και βρίσκονται εδώ πέρα, εδώ και 500 χρόνια, και έχουν 1,2 με 1,5% του πληθυσμού. Τους σεβόμαστε και έχουν τη δυνατότητά τους να λατρεύουν και να έχουν τα τεμένη τους. Καθηγητά Ραμαντάν, εδώ δεν είναι Βρετανία, δεν είναι Γαλλία, δεν είναι Ολλανδία, Γαλλία και Ισπανία. Πρέπει να καταλάβετε ότι εδώ είναι μια εντελώς διαφορετική κατάσταση από αυτά τα έγχρωμα και ενδιαφέροντα τα οποία μας λέτε. Και η κυρία Τριανταφυλλίδου έρχεται με μια περισσή σύνδρομο ενοχής με το απεικιοκρατικό να μας πει ότι εδώ θα πρέπει να αισθανόμαστε κάποιες ενοχές σαν τα μεγάλα τα απεικιοκρατικά κράτη, τα οποία υποτίθεται εκμεταλλεύτηκαν τους Ινδούς και Πακιστανούς και Βορειοαφρικανούς απίκους τους. Εμείς τι χρωστάμε σε αυτή τη χώρα? Ποιους από αυτούς τους είχαμε απίκους? Εσείς μεγαλώσατε στην Ελβετία, κύριε καθηγητά, και οι φιλήσυχοι κατοικητές δεν έχουν συνδυάσει, ευτυχώς οι άνθρωποι, την ημισέλληνο ως ένα σύμβολο στερητικό της ελευθερίας τους. Εδώ, μην ξεχνάτε ότι δεν έχουν περάσει ούτε 100 χρόνια που το 50% της μικρής μας χώρας ήταν υπό την κατοχή μιας ξένης αυτοκρατορίας. Όταν βλέπετε ότι ο κόσμος σε μία σφιγμομέτρηση της public issue πριν από μερικούς μήνες λέει οι 2 στους 3 Έλληνες δεν θέλουν ετέμενος, εκεί βρίσκεται η εξήγηση.
Mr. Marie, as you're the founder of Social Cohesion, of the Center of Social Cohesion, I would like to ask you, do you think that there would be more social cohesion in the UK if you closed the mosques, or if there weren't any mosques? Secondly, Mrs. Phillips, you said something about the radicalization that comes with the mosque, with building this mosque. But isn't the threat of radicalization greater when the Muslims in Greece have their prayers in underground prayer rooms? And third, κύριε Φλούδα, σας άκουσα να κάνετε επίκληση στην αυθεντία, λέγοντας για το η Ελλάδα ανήκει στους Έλληνες, και επίσης στην ιστορία, μιλώντας για τη Χατζάρα. Ωστόσο, θέλω να σας ρωτήσω, και αυτό είναι μια πολύ κλεισέ ερώτηση και το ξέρω, αλλά γιατί δεν έχετε κάνει επίκληση σε άλλα στοιχεία της ελληνικής συλλογικής ταυτότητας ή ιστορίας, όπως το γεγονός ότι είμαστε εμείς ένα έθνος μεταναστών ή ακόμη και στον ξένιο Δία? Ευχαριστώ.
Αναμένουμε και τα αποτελέσματα της ψηφοφορίας, τα οποία έρχονται τώρα με τη μορφή της κυρίας Τσαούση εδώ που μας τα φέρνει. Πριν τη συζήτηση είχαμε 236 υπέρ της πρότασης, κατά της πρότασης 33 και ουδέτεροι 24. Σύνολο δηλαδή ψηφίσαν 293. Είχαμε μετά τη συζήτηση 179 υπέρ, 71 κατά και 43 ουδέτερους. Ευχαριστώ πολύ όλους για τη συμμετοχή σας.